Right then, my name's Reginald, though out here they call me Mr. Reggie. They say resilience is built in the storms. Nonsense. Poetic, but nonsense. In my experience, resilience is built in the daily, grinding, sun-baked, dust-choked, utterly mundane inconvenience of being the odd one out. It is forged not in a crisis, but in the thousandth time you try to explain, with hand gestures and broken nouns, why you need a specific valve gasket, not the one that's same but different. It is the foundation you pour, sweat dripping into the concrete, long before you even think about building a life somewhere like Thailand. You see this? This is not a prop. This was my office for over 30 odd years. Before this veranda, before the geckos and the sweet tea, there were sandstorms, shipyard cranes and work camps where the nearest other native English speaker was a 2-hour flight away. I was not a tourist or a retiree. I was a project site manager, the only Westerner, often the only expat at all, on sites manned by brilliant hard-working teams from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Thailand, the Philippines, you name it. 11 countries, from the relentless heat of Saudi Arabia, where religion shaped every minute of the day, to the monsoons of Southeast Asia, to the brutal corporate precision of South Korea, to the vast, isolated outback of Australia. I did not have a support group. I had a problem, a deadline, and 200 men who looked to me for direction, even if we could not always share a lunch table, let alone a language. So, why does this foundation matter for someone just wanting a nice retirement in Chiang Mai, Isaan or Phuket? Because I did not learn resilience in Thailand. I brought it to Thailand, and it was the greatest luxury I ever packed. Let me explain. Lesson 1. The Cathedral of Self-Reliance. On a remote site in Libya, the generator for my caravan died. No power, no aircon in 45-degree heat, no fridge, no lights. Headquarters said the part would arrive in 5 days. 5 days! I could have sat in my own sweat and composed furious emails. Instead, I walked down to the workshop and found AJ, my lead mechanic from Kerala. Between my fractured Hindi, his technical English, and many drawings in the dust, we diagnosed it. Then we spent 2 days cannibalizing parts from a defunct water pump and an ancient forklift. We built the part. When it spluttered to life, the cheer from the men was louder than the engine. The cool air from that dodgy AC was the most satisfying breeze I have ever felt. The takeaway? Self-reliance is not about doing everything yourself. It is about knowing how to marshal the resources and people around you to find a solution. In Thailand, when the water pump failed, I did not panic. I had already built a dozen more complicated things with far less. The Adnan. Allahu Akbar Allah. The first time that echoed across a desert camp at 4 a.m, I thought it was an alarm, a disruption. I saw it as a barrier. They stop, they pray, work pauses. My Western, schedule-obsessed mind fretted. However, over months, I began to see not a barrier, but a rhythm, a shared heartbeat. I learned the basic greetings in Arabic, then in Urdu, then in Tagalog. Not to be fluent, but to show respect. To say, good work, in a man's own language, is to build a bridge made of stronger stuff than steel. The twist? I learned that communication's foundation is not vocabulary, it is respect and shared purpose. In Thailand, I never bothered becoming fluent in Thai. However, I learned the words for please, thank you, be careful, and that is too expensive. It is the same principle. You are not learning a language, you are learning the keys to a shared human space. It turns being alone into being with others. Lesson 2. Utilising what is available. The ultimate toolkit. In the Australian outback or the Libyan desert, you cannot pop down to B&Q. You have the parts in the supply shed or you have nothing. You become a master of improvisation. A length of fencing wire has 100 uses. This mentality becomes permanent. Therefore, when I arrived in rural Thailand and wanted a proper bookshelf, I did not seek out IKEA, heaven forbid. I went to the local lumber yard, pointed out some decent teak, drew a sketch for the carpenter, and through a combination of smiles, pointing, and a shared beer at the end, got a piece of furniture with more character and solidity than anything flat-packed. The mindset shift. Stop looking for what you expect to find. Start truly seeing what is already there. Your resilience is your ability to recognize those local materials, physical and social, into a life that works. The core of the foundation. Never being alone, even when you are. This is the most important brick. On those remote sites, I was physically isolated from my kind. Nevertheless, I was never alone. I shared meals, eating with my hands from a communal plate in Saudi, sharing kimchi in Korea, trying not to weep from the chilies and the Thai labourer's somtam. I attended a Filipino mechanic's birthday party in the porter cabin, a riot of karaoke and laughter. I learned that community is not about shared passport stamps, it is about shared humility and occasionally shared suffering through a heat wave. When you are forced into that, you shed the fragile shell of expat exceptionalism. You become a participant, however awkward, in the human drama around you. So, when I finally retired to Thailand, what did I see? Not an alien, difficult world. I saw a new project site, infinitely more comfortable and beautiful than any before. The problems, the bureaucracy, the cultural misunderstandings, the odd plumbing issue were just standard operational hurdles. Minor. The language barrier, a quaint simplification after navigating the polyglot chaos of a multinational workforce. The different religion and customs, a fascinating variation on a theme I already understood, that people everywhere organize their lives around meaning and respect. That is the gift of a foundation built on proper resilience. Thailand was not a final exam, it was the graduation party, the pensioner's paradise they sell you in the brochures. It is real, but you do not just walk into it. You earn the right to appreciate it by having lived in places where paradise was a functional septic tank or a working internet connection. Every minor annoyance is here, filtered through the memory of a genuine sand in everything hardship. It makes the cold Singer beer taste colder, the smile from the market lady feel warmer, and the view from this veranda not just beautiful but deeply peaceful. My resilience did not make me tough, it made me soft. Soft enough to adapt, to bend without breaking, to appreciate the profound comfort of a simple life built on a foundation of solved problems and heart-won understanding. Your foundation might be built in an office, a classroom, or a family home. The location does not matter. The practice does. So tell me, what is one experience from your past, work, travel, anything, that you now realise was secretly building your resilience for the life you want now? Share it below. Let us compare foundations. Besides, if you want more unfiltered, grumpy yet practical wisdom on building a real life abroad, do subscribe. More tales from the veranda are forthcoming, schedule permitting and assuming the geckos are not too loud. Take care and goodbye.